Welcome to the MedRite video documentation. This tutorial will explain how to set up follow-ups for orders from the administrative web portal. Follow-ups are actions that must be performed after the order the follow-up is assigned to has been administered. To manage an order's follow-ups, begin by navigating to Residents, Medication Profile, selecting the resident in question, and finding the order to manipulate follow-ups for. Here in the Order tablet, we can see the follow-ups link, followed by any follow-ups that have already been added to this order. Selecting the follow-ups link opens a modal which contains a table detailing each follow-up that has been assigned to this order. Listed in the table is the type of follow-up, the applicable conditions of the follow-up, and comments that have been added to be displayed for conditional follow-ups. Also shown is the edit pencil icon, which can be used to edit any of the details of the follow-up at any time, and the X delete icon, which can be used to remove this follow-up from this order. To add a follow-up to the order, use the New Follow-up button. The first section of the New Follow-up modal is the Perform After section. This determines the amount of time after the order is administered before the follow-up becomes due. Use the left pull-down to indicate the number of hours, and the right pull-down to indicate the number of minutes. Next, select the type of follow-up from the Type pull-down. A description of each of these types can be found in the follow-up written documentation, as well as an indication of which follow-up types can be made into conditional follow-ups. Here we will use blood pressure. Certain follow-ups can be made into conditional follow-ups. If the condition pull-down is grayed out, then that follow-up type cannot be made into a conditional follow-up. Otherwise, a condition can optionally be added to the follow-up if required. Select less than, greater than, or less than and greater than. For the blood pressure follow-up, the radio buttons can be used to select from systolic, diastolic, or both blood pressures. Here we will monitor diastolic blood pressure. Determine the value to be compared to the value the user inputs at the time of the follow-ups documentation. Use the slider or the input box to determine the value. Now, in the Details input box, indicate the message that will be displayed if the condition is met. Now let's review all the details of this follow-up. This follow-up will be scheduled 45 minutes after the order we're assigning it to gets administered and documented as given. It will require the user to take a blood pressure check, and if during that check the diastolic blood pressure is less than 90, it will display the message, "Call the RN." Now click Submit to add this follow-up to the order. Here it can be seen in the table of follow-ups for this order, as well as listed after the follow-ups link in the Order tablet. That concludes the tutorial for managing follow-ups from the administrative web portal. For details on documenting follow-ups, view the video or written documentation for follow-ups under the MedPass machine. Thank you for watching this MedRite tutorial.